One of the easiest and most cost-effective ways to start and grow your clothing line is by doing the pre-order method. I'm gonna give you the game in this video. Thank you for tuning in to our channel. My name is Michael. I am the owner of ECG Graphics and Printing. I'm in my shop right now. I'm in between jobs trying to give you guys some game. Now with my 15 years of experience in this business and me actually having my own clothing line back in the day, I've seen a lot of different things. Please consider subscribing to the channel. You can do that by hitting that subscribe button, also banging on that notification bell. Right behind me too as well is my book. This book is ready for pre-order, so if this is something that you're really serious about and you want to start your clothing brand the right way, I suggest you cop this. So the pre-order method is a process that ultimately you don't really have to use a lot of your own capital. Basically, you put out a product and you test it with your market, and then your customers will then buy it, pre-order it, give you the money, and you can use that as the capital to actually get it produced. Ultimately, you're not coming out of your own pocket. Now, there are some upfront costs, but ultimately that's just gonna be you getting the message out. So now we have ChatGPT, we have all these different, ways of us getting free sales copy. You just gotta put together a good message. Once again, I'm gonna say it again, you gotta know your customer. If you know who your customer is, your PTM, your potential tribe member, you know how to talk to them, you know what their pain points are, and if you make a product that solves that pain point, your product is the bridge to get your PTMs or your customers to that happy place, there's no way that you can lose, right? So let's talk about the 7 ways that you can have a successful pre-sale campaign. First thing that you need to do is design and get your samples. You can go on Fiverr, you can go on Upwork, you can have your friend do it, you can design it yourself if you know how to use Photoshop. The one thing that I do want to tell you is when you're coming up with these designs, make sure that they are print friendly. Make sure that they are not gonna be a print that's so expensive it's gonna blow your profit margins out of the water. Like you're just not being realistic. Like you have a full front and you want to have the side and you want to have the sleeves and you want all these prints, right? But you can't afford it. And then on top of that, your customers don't even want that because who you're going after, that's not even what they really want, and they're not going to pay for that because you can't demand the price that it's gonna for that expensive print. Even if you go in and you put together some mock-ups and you just test it like that before you actually get the sample, I say that that's really a good look. Get your sample, give yourself a year and a half before you start going in and you start investing your time and your effort and your money into manufacturers like Alibaba and all these people overseas in Pakistan, because you don't even have proof of concept yet. It doesn't really matter that you put your designs on a custom blank. It doesn't matter because at this point you're just building the awareness. You want people to recognize what you're doing. They want to recognize your logo, recognize your designs. You want them to attach your message to your products and vice versa. Next is going to be take pictures. You gotta get good pictures. You gotta get as many pictures as you can for your clothing line. It's an investment. 9 times out of 10, whoever's watching this, 75% of you guys have an iPhone. You guys probably have an iPhone 10 or above. And if you have an iPhone 10 or above, your phone can produce some really, really, really good quality pictures and even video. So you already paid for the sample. Make the sample work for you. Next is gonna be set up your Shopify or your store. If you're gonna use Wix, you're gonna use hosting, whatever you're gonna use, set up your website and use those pictures that you got of your sample and put them on your website. It's that simple, that easy. It takes a lot to get people to your website. You went through all that to get the person to click pre-sale, they go to your website and then they're confused because they don't know how to check out, or the item that they wanted is way at the bottom, or whatever the case may be. You don't want that to happen. So set your Shopify site up or whatever site you have up for simplicity. Make it simple, make it easy. Easy to check out. The least amount of clicks, the better. A confused person does not buy. The next thing you want to do, you have your website set up, it's ready to go. You paid your dues, you did what you needed to do. Now you have to promote. You can go out, you can set up pop-up shops at different events. You can, have influencers on your stuff. And the great thing about influencers is they have a dedicated, group of people, an audience that watches them, that looks for them for guidance on products, advice, and all those different things. So a good way for you to grow your clothing line is to tap into someone else's already, created audience that's all in a place. What you want to do is you want to find where are all of your potential tribe members congregate. If they're on Instagram, where are they at? What type of hashtags they're looking at. And then what you should do is look at the different accounts of the influencers that are influencing those different conversations to your tribe members. And then that's how you should identify an influencer. Let me give you some advice. The best influencers are people that should be a part of your tribe or their potential tribe members. I suggest when you first start, don't go for somebody that has 100K. Maybe go for the person that has 2,000 subscribers or followers. And then you, from there, then you can start leveraging and you can tap into that, and then you can build it and build it and build it and build it. Not saying that you can't be advantageous and go for that 100 to a million, person influencer, but 9 times out of 10 they're going to shelf you because you don't have proof of concept, and they're going to want more than what you can give them for them to be the person to give you the proof of concept. Like, they're influencers, they know what type of pull they have with their audience, so they're not going to be cheap. I suggest watching this video where I do talk more in depth about some of the strategies of like calls to actions and all that when it comes to promoting your clothing line in person, or even through online social media marketing or anything like that. The last thing I want to add with promotion is you have to know what the length of your promotion is, what your pre-sale is. I say you should do your pre-sale the shortest amount of time, maybe 72 hours. If you're feeling froggy, maybe you can do a 2-week, but I say do 72 hours, collect your data, collect your information, and you can always drop another, pre-sale once you start getting this thing going. But you want to set that date and promote heavily to get all those promotions within, that timeline or the date that you set. So for 72 hours, promote for those 72 hours, and even before that, so that you can collect the data that you need to have. The next thing on pre-order method, because customers are not gonna get their stuff immediately, like you don't have it in inventory where as soon as they, buy it from you, you can go get it, put it in a bag, send it off. They are gonna have to wait for the production time and everything. So you wanna make sure that your communication is on point. So customers know like, hey, we're not shipping this until 4 weeks after this date. Our pre-sales or pre-orders end on this day, and we're not shipping them out until this day. So you should be able to get it in between this day. The more open you are about that, the more straightforward, the more direct you are about those expectations, the better. Next is going to be manage your pre-orders. During the time that we're in, there are so many, when I mean so many different tools that you can use. But if you go with somebody like Shopify makes it extremely easy for you to manage those pre-orders. Like literally, you can go in the back end of your shop, you can export whatever from what date and fulfill those orders. And last but not least, know your time frame. This is something that you are going to have to collab with your manufacturers on. Remember, try your best to stay away, as far away from manufacturing as possible, because all it does is just add headache to whatever you're doing. But talk to your manufacturers, and when I say manufacturers, I'm talking about your screen printers, and your manufacturers can be like your wholesalers. So wherever you're getting your products from, your blanks from, talk to them, see how fast you can get those items. If you can ship it directly to your screen printer, it's always the best. And then having your screen printer go through, print them, then you have to know like, okay, who's actually gonna be bagging and tagging? Who's gonna be doing all these things? Because that final step, that final leg of the race is really good. So you can go in, you can use a POD or print on demand service, or you can print it yourself. For me in my shop, I actually do offer this as a option for customers. So we go all the way up to bagging and tagging, and then we can also fulfill for customers, or we can go through and do the whole thing. We have a merch program where we handle everything. So it's a totally hands-off, service for you as the clothing line. All you have to do is worry about selling. But ultimately, you want to know that process. You want to know what you're electing based off of your capacity. If you're working a 9 to 5, are you going to have time to go in and do all these things? It might be easier for you, even though it might be a little expensive for you to do it, it might be easier because you may not have, the capacity or even the mindset to go in and figure out the ins and outs of doing that. So that ends the video. I hope you guys liked it. If you took something from this, please run it up and drop a comment. Also subscribe to the channel. I like to do this at least once a week. If you go on my other social media platforms, I try to post on a day-to-day basis, just giving you behind the scenes and other tips for you to actually grow your clothing line. Once again, behind me, here goes my book. It is The Clothing Brand Blueprint. This is now up for pre-order. This is a really short read, but literally, like, I give so much game in this, man. Like, you can see right here, like, you can actually write inside of it. I have different, forms. And I'm a very visual learner, and I know many of you guys might be as well. So I really try to make the blueprint a blueprint where you can actually go in and write down what you want with your clothing line. So when you walk around with this thing, it's really your blueprint. Like anybody can, don't want people to take it, but anybody can basically take it and say, okay, I know what's happening. I know the vision. I know how we're going to execute X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to pre-order that. Go down into the description below and pre-order that. Also, I have another tool for you guys. If you're looking to try to figure out, how your clothing line is and how you can improve with your clothing line, I also have a free scorecard down in the description as well. So you can click on that. You can take a quick quiz. Once you take the quiz, you'll get a score that goes straight to your email. It's going to tell you out of 100, where did you score it? And then you can reach out to us directly. I can sit down with you and give you, what are some things you can work on and how you can improve your clothing line. So down below, it is the Clothing Band Clarity Scorecard. So go ahead and take that, and hope to see you guys in the next video.